We'll start in standing pose. So I will meet you on the mat. So finding our feet firmly planted under our hips, our shoulders stacked on top, and with our eyes closed, we'll take a few deep breaths in through the nose and we'll sigh it out through the mouth. Noticing the muscles in our faces soften, the shoulders melting away from the ears, and allowing our breath to assume its natural rhythm in and out through the nose. Noticing the rising and falling sensation of our rib cage. And checking in with the mood and the energy of the body. Noticing any areas of lightness, of tension. And perhaps taking the opportunity to set an intention for our practice. Being mindful of the physical sensations in our bodies. Using those sensations as our anchor to this present moment as we create headspace. Bringing our awareness back to this space around us. The smells, the temperature, and the sounds. And we'll start with some gentle neck rolls, bringing our chins to our chest. Rolling our heads left to right, whatever range of motion feels comfortable and accessible as we slowly start to add warmth. Not thinking about how we moved the last time we were on the mat, or perhaps how we felt yesterday, but focusing on how we feel now and honoring the state of our body. And bringing our ear towards the shoulder, allowing for a gentle stretch in the side of the neck. Option to float the opposite hand out, to continue exploring with micro movements of the head and the arm. And then holding anywhere that feels nourishing, bringing our awareness to any areas of stickiness. And we'll gently float our head over to the other side. Once again, we can explore here, moving our head, lifting and moving our arm. Just listening to those intuitive messages that our body is sending us. And resetting back to the center, holding in the center with our chin to our chest, letting the shoulders melt down, micro bend in the knees. Hopefully starting to feel some micro releases of energy. And we'll roll our head and shoulders up together and continue rolling the shoulders up and back. Noticing the smiles appear on our faces naturally. We'll switch directions, drawing the shoulder blades in towards the spine, the shoulders up and around to the front. Good, coming back to neutral. We're going to open our arms, inhaling, lifting our chest, gentle arch of the lower back. Exhale, we'll round forward, looking through our belly button, chin to chest. Inhale, we open up, lifting our chest. Exhale, we round forward. We continue this motion, starting to add some flexion to the wrists. Opening, twisting, rounding, curling. Again, listening to the body, finding that range of motion that feels good. Those micro movements in the hands, the fingers, the wrists, the arms. Smiles on our faces as we open up, letting the light shine down on our beautiful faces. 3 more. And the last time we open up, reaching our hands behind us, interlacing, straightening the arms, rolling the shoulders back, lifting the arms as possible. Feeling the opening across the chest and down the arms. And on our next exhale, we'll round forward again. So big breaths in. Exhale, rounding forward, holding here. Chin to chest. Gazing through the belly button, through our lower back. Extending our arms parallel to the floor. Good. Inhale, we come back to standing. We reset here. Deep breaths in. Sighing it out. With our arms continuing to fall along our sides. We're going to twist gently left to right. So again, we have a micro bend in our knees. We're going to allow the arms to just tap gently against the body, breaking through some cobwebs, building elasticity, allowing the arms to bounce back. And we're releasing some synovial fluid and energy from our spine. Not worrying about what we look like. Moving to our speed. 2. One more each side. And we come back to center. And we run through a body scan, noticing any new sensations we might be feeling, new energy that might be running through us. Good. Bringing our awareness back to the space around us, and we'll swim our arms right to left. Perhaps we add a gentle twist of the trunk, our spine, gazing back as we reach back. And the eyes can be open or closed. And again, we have a gentle bend in our knees. Inhaling up, exhale, rounding. Our speed and our range of motion. Opening the chest. Moving the energy around. 3, 2, one more on each side. And we'll switch directions. Drawing the arm back and then around to the front. And again, this can be as little or as big a motion as we need. Maybe we're stretching into the side body, adding a gentle lateral flexion. Perhaps we're reaching diagonally. Whatever that looks like for you, we go with how we feel and what the body tells us. Trying to break through stickiness and stiffness, those cobwebs that are keeping us locked. Three more each side. 2, last one. And we come back to standing. Centering ourselves here. Perhaps we're feeling a little lightheaded. How nice and fun is that? Inhaling, bringing our arms over our shoulders, grabbing onto the left wrist, reaching high. Deep breath in, and on the exhale, we're going to come into a side bend to the right. Squeezing our glutes to press our pelvis forward. Breathing length into the side body. Taking our deep breaths, and with each exhalation, we'll slowly start to move forward. Inhaling, exhale, we round forward. Big breaths in, moving with the exhalation, noticing the sensations, pausing at the bottom of the exhalation. Coming into a forward fold, slow and steady. Meeting up in our forward fold whenever we get there. Appreciating all the yumminess along the way. And then hanging out gently here. Option to bring our hands to the shins or to the earth. Options to bring our hands to the inner elbow. And of course we can shift our weight left to right if that feels good. Or perhaps we continue to maintain stillness. Slowly bringing warmth and awareness to the back of our legs. And we're going to roll ourselves up, stacking the vertebrae, shoulders and head, nice and slowly. Deep breaths in. And we slowly come up, bending our knees, stacking ourselves back up to standing. And we'll reach our arms all the way over our shoulders. Inhaling up, grabbing onto the opposite wrist, reaching big, and then coming into our side bend. Checking in with the glutes and the hips, pressing forward, maintaining strength of our lower body, and we're not collapsing, breathing space into the side. Nourishing all the tissues that run along the spine. In through the lower back, into the hip. Good. And again, we'll take our deep breaths in. With each exhalation, we slowly start to roll and hinge forward. Taking our time to notice the sensations. Keeping a bend in the knees and meeting up in our forward fold whenever we get there. Letting our arms and our heads hang heavy. And again, we can find stillness or we can shift our weight. On the next exhale, we'll roll ourselves up gently, stacking the vertebrae, shoulders and head. Coming back to standing, resetting here. And we'll open our legs nice and wide. We'll start to shift our weight left to right. We can keep our hands on our hips or in front of us, or we can start to float our arms, creating an energy bubble around us. Keeping our torsos nice and long. And coming over to one side, we'll hold a high lunge here, supporting our hands on our thigh, lifting our chests, finding length in our torso. Gentle expression on our faces. We have the option here to bring our left hand or our inner hand to the earth and to open our other arm up. Gentle rotation in our high lunge. Reaching big, finding energy between the fingertips of both hands. Calm, steady rhythm of breath. And we lower our upper hand. We come to center, forward fold. Toes are pointed forward. We hang our heads heavy. Inhaling flat back, pressing the earth away. Exhale, we shift over to the other leg. High lunge, bringing our hands back to our thigh, lifting our torso. Gentle expressions on our faces. Feeling an opening of the inner thigh. And when and if we're ready, we can put our inner hand down on the ground. We can open up the other arm above our bodies. Gentle twist here, pressing a little bit more into the inner thigh. And again, noticing the energy running between the hands. Good. Lowering the upper hand. We walk our hands into the center. We straighten both legs, forward fold. Excellent. Shifting our weight to the right. We're going to come into a skandasana here. So both hands on the floor. We lift the toes of our left foot, driving them up to the sky. We sink as low as we can into our hips, supporting ourselves on the earth. Flexing the foot, getting into the calf muscle as well as the inner thigh. Good. Sweeping our arms over to the right. We come up on the toes of the left foot, sweeping around into a crescent lunge. Inhale, reaching the arms all the way up. Finding length in our torso. And we bring our hands to heart center. We come into a gentle twist over the right leg. Finding length again in the spine, pressing the elbow into the thigh, planting our back foot for stability as needed. Gazing upwards beyond the elbow. Planting our left hand on the inside of the right foot. And again, reaching up a little bit deeper now, getting into the back of the leg, maybe even the glute. Awesome. Bringing the right hand down to the earth. Left knee comes down, low lunge, and we flatten that back foot. Walking the right foot out a little bit, and we'll shift our weight left to right. Keeping both hands underneath our chest, checking in with our hips, the hip flexor, our lower back. Swaying intuitively once again, just breaking through some cobwebs and stickiness to add fluidity. And from here, at any point, we can reach back. We can sink forward off of our knee onto our hip flexor, planting our left hand. We can open our chest. We can reach back. And of course, we have the option to grab our foot if that's accessible and we're not twisting or torquing. Lifting our foot, possibly grabbing it, opening the chest, lifting our gazes. Feeling this in the front of the left quadricep, if we've opted to reach for our foot. Keeping our chest open. Feeling the stretch across the chest and down the arm. Down the front of the leg, across the lower back. Modifying the pose to our body and what it needs. 3 big breaths. We release the back foot. We bring both hands under our chest. We press ourselves back, stacking the hips over our left knee, and we extend our right leg long. Bringing our hands to our hips, finding length in the torso. And we hinge forward over that right extended leg. Toes are pointed out. Perhaps we go for our blocks or the floor for support, so long as we can maintain a flat back. Working through the hamstring, the calf, and into the ankle. Maybe even feeling this in the front of the foot. Calm, steady rhythm of breath. Noticing micro changes, allowing us to sink a little bit deeper. Not forcing too far, too fast. Listening to the breath, letting it be our guide. Three more breaths. And we'll slowly shift our weight back, forwards, curling our toes under our left shin, lifting up into our high lunge. And we'll walk our hands all the way over to the other side, Skandasana. Sinking over into the left hip, extending the right leg long, toes are pointed to the sky. And again, we're working into the inner thigh and into the hip, supporting on the earth or on our blocks. Checking in with those toes. Then we'll slowly pivot around to the left, coming up on the toes into our crescent lunge, left leg pivoting around, finding our stability. Once we've got that in the legs, we can lift our arms high, reaching up. Checking in that our left knee is tracking over our left ankle. We bring our hands to heart center, we elongate, and then we twist over the left leg, bringing the right elbow to the outer edge, pressing so as to find and to gaze up to the sky. Planting our back foot if that feels more stabilizing. And bringing our right hand inside on the mat, option to lift our left arm up. Gentle twist, working into the back of the left leg. And we bring our left arm down, both hands underneath our chest. We lower our right knee to the earth, flattening our foot, walking our left foot out. And again, we can shift our weight left to right, slowly getting into the hip flexor of the right leg, noticing how everything's connected into the spine, moving around our stickiness, clearing blockages. And again, as desired, We can reach our left arm back. We open our chest and our gaze. And we have the option to reach for our back foot in order to get into the quadricep, keeping our chest open. Calm, steady rhythm of breath. Maybe starting to feel micro gains, releases of energy, opening of the body. Three more big breaths here. We release out of our pose. We come back to center. We curl the toes under our shin. We press our hips over the right knee and we extend our left leg long. Pointing the toes up to the sky, finding our stability, elongating the spine and hinging forward. Whatever range that means for us, listening to our breath, supporting along the way as the body starts to let us sink a little deeper into the pose. Maintaining a flat back. Toes are pointed up. Noticing what happens in the calf muscles. As we slowly adjust our foot. Three more big breaths. And we curl our toes under our shin. We push ourselves forward. We come back up into our high lunge. And we walk into the center. Forward fold. Feet are parallel, pointing forward. Noticing the looseness in our necks and our shoulders. Perhaps a new length or lightness in the back of our legs. Inhale, we press the earth away, bringing our torso parallel to the floor. And we're going to pivot over to the right side again. And we'll step into a down dog. Taking a moment to pedal out, maybe to crunch the toes, maybe to twist and rotate at the ankle, whatever feels good here. Moving the foot around, shifting our weight, or finding stillness if that's what the body is desiring. The goal here is to flow through whatever sequence feels good. It could include a plank. It could include a hovering child's pose, back to our down dog, just flowing how the body is intended and desires. Again, moving through blocked energy. Perhaps we float into a plank. We bend our knees, we push back into a child's pose, we come back into down dog, whatever feels good. And this could even include chaturanga, upward facing, whatever vinyasa suits us. Perhaps we want to reverse directions, sinking down into our child's pose, upward facing, whatever feels good. That's where we're at. That's what we're doing. We're listening to our body. No judgment, no competition or expectation here other than to listen to the body. We'll go for a few more breaths, whatever that looks like for us. And we'll all meet back up in our down dog. Whenever you get there, there's no rush. Pedaling it out or finding stillness. Continuing to explore if that feels good. Pressing the heels back to the earth. Then we'll come into a child's pose, bringing our knees underneath us, walking the hands forward, sinking the hips back. Option to shift the weight or again to find stillness. Good. Drawing ourselves into all fours, bringing our hands under our shoulders, knees under the hips. We'll slowly shift our weight left to right, letting our head hang heavy. And we'll hold on one side, gazing back towards our feet, adding that lateral flexion as much as we can. Breathing into it, elongating the side body. And we'll float over to the other side. Holding here. Nourishing the areas of discomfort with our breath. When we come back to center, coming back into our down dog, curling our toes under the shins. Deep breaths in, and we extend up. Exhaling into it, pressing the heels back, pedaling it out as desired. Finding grounding of our hands, a heaviness in our head, softness in our neck and spine, pressing the feet back, maybe one at a time, maybe both. And if we're not already in the center, we're going to lift our left leg off the mat. Bringing it all the way up. Bending at the knee, opening the hips towards the wall. Noticing what the hips The lower back are telling us, perhaps they're holding a little bit of tension there that we have yet to move around. We'll come back to center, gazing forward, coming up on the toes of the right foot. And we're going to bring our left knee through our chest towards the left wrist, and then slowly float our way into a pigeon. Flattening the back foot, inhale, lifting our chest high, pressing the earth away. And again, with each exhalation, we can slowly hinge forward, exploring along the way. We're not going from inhale to exhale and we're on the mat. But let's listen to the body. Let's be curious each time we come to the mat. We come on to our forearms, our fists, or our hands, and of course, we can reach the left arm outwards and come into a figure four, threading the needle of our right hand through, if that feels accessible. Noticing all the sensations in the left hip, and again through the lower back. Three more big breaths here, wherever here is for us. And we roll out of this, pressing ourselves up over onto the left hip. Coming into all fours again, rinsing it out. Come back to center, curling the toes under our shins. We lift back up into our down dog on the exhalation. And this time we'll lift our right leg off the earth, pressing our weight through the left leg and heel, grounding through our hands, bending at the knee, opening the hips towards the wall if accessible. Calm and steady. Seeing if we can add a little extra length in our right side body, pressing, elongating. When we come back to center, we gaze forward, coming up on the toes of the left foot, and we bring our right knee through to our right wrist, and we float our leg back, pigeon pose. Inhale, pressing the earth away, lifting our chest. And again, with each exhalation, slowly and with loads of curiosity, we melt forward over our right leg. Coming down to our forearms, our fists, our hands, however feels good for us. And of course, we have the added intensity of a figure four, threading the needle through, reaching our right hand outwards, bringing the left arm underneath. Again, listening to our body, whatever feels good for us in this moment. Perhaps we think it feels good and we want to come out of it, that's fine too. Perhaps we want to build our resilience. We want to release energy, breathing into areas of discomfort. calm and steady. Three more big breaths here. And we come back to center wherever we were, pressing ourselves up over to the right hip. We come back into our all fours, slow and steady, rinsing it out. Maybe noticing a difference in the sensations in the sides of our legs, across our lower back, maybe even in our hips. And we'll come to center, curling our toes under our shins. One last time, inhaling deeply. Exhale, down dog. Straightening the legs, paddling it out as needed, or just finding our stillness, pressing our heels towards the earth. Strength in our arms, and heaviness in our heads. Coming back down to our knees, all fours, and we'll do a traditional cat-cow before coming onto our backs. Inhale, pressing the earth away, lifting our chest, opening the abdomen. Exhale, rounding out, starting with the tailbone and gazing back towards our feet. Inhale, tailbone, rounding, arching, opening. Exhaling, rounding back in. Pressing into the shoulder blades. Repeating to our rhythm. Let's do one more. Now we come back to neutral. Crossing our feet at the ankles, we push back, grabbing a sip of water as desired, and then we'll extend our feet in front. Coming into our bridge position, lowering our spine to the mat, and our shoulder blades and our head. Keeping our feet firmly planted on the mat. And we can walk the feet to the outer edges of the mat and slowly windshield wiper the legs left to right. Keeping our shoulder blades on the mat. Noticing any sticky areas in our hips, low back, or sides of the legs. Exploring with curiosity, bringing our awareness to those areas. Coming back to center with our right foot across the left knee or thigh. We're slowly going to lower both knees towards the right in our figure 4. Noticing how that impacts the lower back. And if it's too intense, we release the right foot back to the earth. Otherwise, we bring our awareness to any areas of discomfort that might need our attention. Good. Coming back to center, inhaling. And let's hug that in, bringing the left leg off the earth. Our hands come on top of the shin or behind the thigh. We can curl in like little balls. We can rock, pulse, whatever feels good here. Maintaining gentle expressions on our faces. Great, bringing our head and shoulders back down. We'll extend both legs up over our hips, driving the heels up, pointing the toes down, flexing the entire leg. Wiggling out the feet, pointing, flexing, rolling, and then we come back to our flexed foot, heels up, toes down, driving through the back of the legs. Feeling the lower back pressing into the mat. Releasing again, wiggling out the feet. And then we bring our right leg back down to the earth. The foot is on the outer edge. The left ankle crosses the right thigh. Figure 4 here, and we lower our knees to the left. Keeping our shoulder blades in the back of the head on the mat. And again, just bringing our awareness to any areas of discomfort. And if this is too intense on this side, we let the left foot float to the earth. Coming back to center on the next inhale. Lifting the right foot off the mat, drawing the knee into the chest, hugging it in with the hands on the shins or behind the thigh, rocking, pulsing, or finding stillness. Head up or down as feels best for us. Noting that each side might need something slightly different. Honoring that. Awesome. Bringing the head and shoulders back to the earth, stacking the feet above our hips, driving those heels up. This time, we're going to hug in, bringing our hands behind the thighs, lifting our head and shoulders again. Driving the heels up, toes are pointed towards our forehead. Chin to chest. Wiggle out the feet. I know that can be intense. And then when you're ready, go ahead and flex the feet again, driving the heels up. Feeling this all the way down the back body. From the base of the skull, through the spine, Down the legs, into the calves, and into the fronts of the feet. 3, for 2. Good. Release the feet, wiggle them out, let them fall towards the glutes, bringing our feet to the earth, and then slowly extending our legs long. Keeping our hands on our hips or alongside our body. Noticing the contact our body makes on the earth below. Running through a gentle body scan from head to toe, getting a sense of the mood and the energy of the body and how it may have changed from the beginning of our practice. Noticing lightness, perhaps a sense of softness or floatiness in the whole body. Calmness in our mind. Taking a moment to reflect on any intention that we may have set at the beginning of our practice. Perhaps modifying it for the days ahead. Always being sure to breathe, to not take on energy of others, to remain calm and in control, not allowing our emotions to overcome our intelligence. Coming back to the present moment, reminding ourselves what is truly important to us. Sometimes our emotions run away with what's important. We just have to come back to ourselves, to our breath, and allow that to anchor us in the present moment. Taking the time we need to imprint our practice on the mat, and when we're ready, we can start to bring micro movements back to our body. Moving our feet, wiggling, flexing, contracting. Perhaps we hug in. When we're ready, we can roll over and up, coming back to the space around us, back to our community, back to the day ahead. And as usual, we take a moment to give thanks for the opportunity to practice, for the determination of our minds to come to the mat, for all the things that had to fall into place for us to get here today, for all the people that helped it happen. We give thanks for our beautiful bodies, every single part of our body. We celebrate the headspace that we may have created here today and the new mental clarity that we leave the mat with. Thank you so much for sharing this day with me, for sharing your light and love, and continuing to be a part of this beautiful community. I wish you a beautiful continuation. Namaste.